Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It is exactly 9:05 a.m. here in South Africa, but we are crossing over to Idlib in Syria, and we're talking with activist Ibrahim Shaker. Assalamu alaikum to you, Brother Ibrahim. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
Okay, we understand that the US flag was raised in Syria for the first time since the year 2012. How significant is this, and what does it mean for Syria, knowing that you're now being headed by al-Sharaa? It the obviously the diplomatic engagements and just the interactions with the US and other foreign countries. Is this a huge positive for the people of Syria and the government of Syria?
Yes, first of all, thanks for inviting me to your interview in this channel. I do appreciate it. Let me start with rising of the USA flag in the middle of Damascus. This is the first time since 2012 that the American flag rised in Damascus in Syria. This is very important for the Syrian policy, because it opens the door for countries to rebuild the relationships between the foreign countries, European countries, and Asian countries with the new government in Syria.
Are you still there, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
So I can hear you now.
Okay, this alignment with the US, we do know that currently there isn't an embassy in Syria. It still remains closed. But would you also say that this further strengthens the ties between al-Sharaa and Netanyahu, or Syria and Israel, because he has gone on record of saying that he wants to normalize relations with Israel, and this normalization between Syria and Israel will be against their common enemies. And the common enemy that he refers to in this comment of his is obviously Iran. How are the people on the ground seeing the raising of the American flag in Syria, and of course the comments made by al-Sharaa regarding normalizing relations with Israel?
Okay, thanks for this question. Let me please make something clear for you and for all people, that the rising of USA flag, maybe this is the second step of the normalization, the relationship between America and the new government in Syria after the dropping of sanction. What about the normalization of the relationship between the new government in Syria and Israeli regime? Okay, the new government announced before that maybe there won't be a normalization between the new government in Syria and Israel. Maybe it's maybe like a peace between Syria and Israel. Okay, peace doesn't mean, or let me say, peaceful relationships between Syria and Israel doesn't mean that there will be normalization. Okay, what about the point of views of people here in Syria? In fact, Syrian people are very happy because of the rising of the USA flag in Syria. Since 2012, people are really happy because, as I said, opens the door for new investments. That opens the door for new foreign countries to rebuild the relationships between Syria and the world. About Israeli regime, the new government in Syria announced that there will not be maybe a normalization, but there will be peaceful relationships. There will be peace between Syria and Israel. Because as Syrian government announced that we can't uh, uh, refuse, or we can't say that there is no neighbor which is Israel.
Okay, this line is very bad, Ibrahim, but let me ask you this one final question then. The people of Syria are very pleased with the relations now with the US, simply because it's going to mean that the sanctions will be dropped against Syria. Economically, what does it mean for Syria? Because Syria has been through very, very bad times for many years. How does this help Syria rebuild itself regarding the lifting of sanctions against Syria?
Okay, in fact, dropping American sanctions, followed by dropping European sanctions, and we have dropping Japanese sanctions. In Syria, that's very important step, because that opens the door for a new investments to be in Syria. Maybe that release the freeze money in the European country that was with Al Assad regime. Okay, in the European banks. And that's very important, because it opens many doors. The tourism, the development, many doors that can be opened for Syrian people. So Syrian people are very happy because of the dropping of American sanctions and European sanctions.
Okay, unfortunately, the line is very bad, but I will wrap up with this comment. It would mean, obviously, economic revival in Syria. People can then start normalizing their lives. Children can go back to school. The infrastructure can be rebuilt. Universities will be reopened. Of course, it's going to take a while, but the dropping of sanctions does mean a new beginning for the people of Syria. Short answer from you, because the line's very bad. Yes or no?
Yes, sorry.
The comment that I've just made, would that be correct? Would it be in the best interests of the people of Syria?
Yes, in fact, let me please make it clear that schools in Syria are still opened under the aircraft, even university under the sanctions. Syrian people are very active. They are still learning. They are still teaching. They are still working. But dropping the sanctions maybe connect Syria with the other world.
Okay, the line is very, very bad. Let's leave it there. But what I got from Ibrahim there was, despite the difficulties experienced by the people of Syria under the rule of Saddam, I think the point he was making, that children were still being schooled. Students were still going to varsity. So it sounded like there was some sense of normalcy in Syria, but under very, very difficult circumstances. It's a pity that the line was very bad. I would have liked to have gone further into that discussion to understand just what exactly, apart from foreign investments, etc., what else will change. We do know that parts of Syria's infrastructure was very, very badly damaged during the time of the rule of the ex-Syrian president. Uh, that is, of course, Assad. But hopefully, we can get someone on a more stable connection to give us a full understanding of what exactly is currently going down in Syria and how the new government of Al Shara is making a difference, hopefully, a positive difference for the people of Syria and for their neighbors. It is exactly 16 after 9 o'clock. It's time for an ad break. Let's take that ad break and then continue with our show right here on Salam Media News and Views with me, Julie Ali.